formerly known as Elgin Nation. I'm a recording artist, producer, and entertainer. I got started when I was about 8 years old. I was performing in talent shows, doing routines in New Orleans and here in Georgia. I did that for a while. Family was really supportive of that. Around the 8th grade or so, that's when I started trying to dabble in producing my own music and writing my own songs. They weren't the best, but it's a passion, so you're always trying to explore yourself through what you love to do. So I kind of stuck with that, and did it all through high school, and probably about my freshman year of college is when I really got serious about it. I started really diving into writing my own music. It was taking up a ton of my time, and producing and doing my own shows and headlining my own shows and things like that. And most of that was rooted here in Atlanta. It's definitely changed over the last couple of years. I'll start off by saying that I was more of going back to the thing where I was talking about trying to explore yourself, kind of find yourself. In music, that's definitely important, because you'll find yourself as an aspiring artist, trying to ride the trends, trying to ride what's hot for the year. And being young and not knowing who I was really, I was definitely a part of that, which every artist does it, that's the process of finding yourself. But eventually I did find myself recently with this project, and it's called Machine, produced and written by myself and Michael Dean, my creative director. It's a nostalgic project, but at the same time it's pushing the bar. I'm looking into the future. A lot of the instruments and the synthetic sounds are inspired by the 80s era, but the percussion and the drums and everything like that is mostly modern, and even the vocal approach is not so processed. It's not so poppy. It's still a little bit raw, but it's a really fair mix of today and yesterday, which I think people can really appreciate. When you're creating, it's almost like if you're gonna have anyone in the room, you gotta feel comfortable being naked around those people. Not literally, but that's what it feels like, because you're expressing a part of yourself. If you have people, it's always like in the process, you're always just making stuff, and it might not sound like so you don't want people looking at you weird. You do want honest people in the room as well, but you want to be able to express yourself without feeling like you have to hold anything back, because you're experimenting, you're letting these things out, and that hopefully no one has done really, and so you definitely want to be able to be naked around whoever you're working with in that creative space. So that's really important to me. With whatever you're doing, just keep going. You'll always run into obstacles in life. This whole Machine EP is, some people listen to it, or I've had a few publishers listen to it, and they're like, man, whoever the girl was that you were talking about, she must have really did a number on you or something like that. But it's just observing, and it was multiple situations that I had been in that, kind of found its way into the writing in this music. And but at the same time, it's about just keep going, being an unstoppable force. It's servicing the masses pretty much. So it's hopefully it's encouraging to people to really not be afraid to do what you want to do, especially with what I'm doing. Singing, rapping, dancing, all that stuff like that, and how I look compared to most in hip hop culture today is really risky. So just be yourself. You only got one life to live it how you want it. The blonde, I don't really know where that came from, but while I was working on the project, it came to me, and I was like, that'd be kind of sick. So I went ahead and just did it just to see how it would look. Hair grows back. If I didn't like it, I could shave it all off. As far as my look, that's even just how I dress outside of music, it's kind of like it's always growing. I'm inspired by a ton of different styles and stuff like that, so it's not really a look. A common look for me, I do loafers, kind of chino pants and button downs a lot, or I do boots, jeans, and a leather jacket, and a t-shirt or something like that. So that's a comfortable look for myself. But I'm always looking to dive into new stuff. If someone presents me something that looks dope, I'll check it out, I'll rock it, see if I like it. If I don't, it's whatever. If I do, I'll try to incorporate it to my style in some way. So, biggest music inspiration, definitely gonna be MJ. It's probably like 3 or 4. MJ, I love Prince, he's awesome. He definitely inspired this last project a lot as well. Robert Plant of Led Zeppelin, you know, more 70s metal type stuff. You know, I really like that era of music. And The Police, I really love The Police, and Sting, he's probably one of my favorites. For sure one of my favorites, not probably. Top 5 singers. Ooh. Michael Jackson, of course, I gotta put that one up there, he's the man. As far as just bringing down the house, I'd say Whitney, she's definitely up there. She's incredible. Sting, of course, for me, he's amazing. I really, really, really like Marvin Gaye. You know, that's soul. You know, that's deep right there. I really like him. Stevie's tight. I definitely dig Stevie Wonder and his songwriting and stuff. So, heavily touring. Definitely continuing to grow on my music films. You know, we're trying to do something different from just a 3-minute music video, put it out there, you know, song and dance. We're trying to incorporate, you know, kind of a cinematic feel and a script, kind of a screenplay towards the music. So definitely growing on that as well. Hopefully working with some of my favorite artists. I already mentioned touring. You know, heavily, that's one of my things. I love to perform live and do live shows and stuff with the band. So that's definitely one of my goals, and diving into all sectors of entertainment. You know, hopefully modeling, a little bit of fashion, acting, a little bit of that. You know, just really any way I can contribute to entertainment and leave my mark in some way. That's where I want to be in the next 5 years. Which, no disrespect, I love Atlanta trap music. My creative director, Michael Dean, he's always like, man, what? That doesn't seem like you at all, but I love it. But the challenges that I face is, as far as being here at the center of that, you know, this is the heart of that, trying to get it to people. So it's really like I'm walking up to people, and at first, that's what they're always thinking. A lot of people are like, oh, this is just another trap rapper, you know, and then when they hear it, they're just like, and it's like, oh, okay, that's kind of dope. So it's always the challenge, really, of just presenting it to people. You know it's so different, and you know it's so out there. Creating it is not the challenge at all, because it's just a piece of me, you know, but it's just presenting it to people is the challenge. But every time we do, we never regret it. You know, people find a certain kind of respect in the fact that I'm not just following the trend, you know, so that definitely wins us over every time. So that'll probably be the biggest challenge. Definitely West Side Story-ish, like the vibe and how we filmed it. That whole aesthetic was huge to us, and the color correction and stuff like that. So definitely West Side Story driven, even the way that, you know, we wanted the director to film it, kind of long shots, you know, not too many cuts. And as far as how the story started, the beginning of the video started at the end essentially, and then the middle, and then you got the actual, you know, beginning towards the end. That was I've always wanted to make something that was really Tarantino inspired, because I love the way he makes movies, you know, Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, you know, all that good stuff. So I definitely got my you know, inspiration from those two sources for Anna. I'd say, like I mentioned earlier, what I'm doing is risky, you know. I'm not trying to dive into the pop wave, you know. It'll be easier if I was just trying to dive straight into the pop wave doing what I'm doing, you know. But I'm trying to keep it hip hop, you know, for the most part, and hopefully, you know, have different genres gravitate to that, you know. So doing what I do, you know, with that combination and the way that I look, I would say that I'm definitely out here, you know what I'm saying, compared to what's hot today. And just, you know, it's just who I am. So I can't really, you know, I'm chill. You know, I'm not really, I party a little bit, but a lot of rap is focused around partying, you know, all that, you know, that whole vibe. But I'm chill, man. I like to just kind of hang out and, you know, just kick it. So that incorporated with my style and having a live band and it being really rock inspired too on stage. Mixing pop, rock, and hip hop is risky, so I'm definitely willing to take that risk to stand out and, you know, show people myself. So I feel like I am a misfit in that way.